So, here at Centers for Spiritual Living Worldwide, we are focusing this year on the theme of 2020 Spiritual Vision. And this month's theme is honoring the divine feminine. And today's topic, we're talking about law, L-A-W, as womb, W-O-M-B. So, what we are focusing on here then is that center aspect. When we look at our teaching symbol, where we've got the top is spirit, and the middle is law or mind, and then the bottom is body or form, where we're really focused on this morning is we're focused on that center section where it is and that is where the divine feminine resides when we are thinking of our teaching symbol. We do recognize that there truly is only one energy, one life, one infinite eternal being. And what we also know is that we can think of these things in binary or non-binary terms. So when we think of the middle section, the law, if you will, or the mind, or sometimes it's referred to as the soul, when we think of that section, Ernest Holmes equates that with the divine feminine. And the reason for the law being the divine feminine, and the law is kind of, as he uses the term womb, is that the high idea that we have starts off at the top and then is planted into the middle, into that divine mind. So we often talk about it as the seed being planted into the soil. The high idea being planted into the soil, the creative medium that knows how to create everything and nurtures it to creation and nourishes it to creation. So if we think of that then and transfer that to the idea of womb, we have the fertilized egg or the fertilized idea that is then embedded into the wall of the womb, and it continues to grow from there. And the womb is a safe place, it is a nurturing place, it is a nourishing place for that high idea to begin to germinate and begin to move forward and begin to develop. And when we think of it, for all of you moms out there, you don't necessarily think when you're carrying the baby, you're not thinking of, okay, and now I'm going to develop the baby's lungs, and now I'm going to develop the baby's heart, and now I'm going to develop the baby's fingertips, right? It's simply an allowing, and it's a trusting, and it's a knowing that the cradle of creation is bringing forth and doing what it needs to do in order to bring baby forth. And then ultimately, there is the birthing pains, right? There is the birth and the formation that arrives, and that's the baby. That's the idea, that's the idea made manifest and into form. And we walk around on the earth, and the form takes shape, and we're walking around, and then we continue to grow and develop and evolve, and then we continue that cycle of life, perhaps. We continue that high idea. So when we think of this in terms of ideas or what we want to experience in life, then we first must create that fertilized egg, that fertilized high idea, by first coming up with the idea, perhaps, and then secondly, what really fertilizes is it's fertilized by our feelings, right? It's fertilized by our belief. It's fertilized in such a way that to the degree that we believe it, as we believe it, to the degree that we believe it, and when we believe it, then that high idea, that fertilized idea, is then implanted in the womb of law, is then implanted. And then we can just step back and allow the creative medium, allow the law to do what the law does. Because the law knows exactly what needs to happen to bring this high idea forth. We don't need to try to direct how it's going to come forth. We don't need to try to tell it what it needs to do to come forth, because that's similar to what we've talked about before here, is when you're planting seed in the soil, if you're constantly checking on the seed in the soil, you're constantly digging that up, you're disturbing the growth and you're disturbing the maturation of that seed, right? You're disturbing the maturation of the plant itself. And what we also know is that the high idea, the fertilized idea, has within it that divine love, intelligence that knows how to bring everything forth. It's already in it. The complete form is already within that high fertilized idea. That everything that, if you think of a lemon tree, say, everything about the lemon tree, everything about the lemons, the fruits, and everything is contained within that one lemon seed that you plant that then sprouts into a tree. And so not only is that high idea of the tree already within the seed, but all the fruit within the seed, and all the seeds within the fruit in perpetuity, right? It's all there within that one. So it's a cascading. So it comes from a first cause and then moves forward. So this high fertilized idea, when we plant it and we don't disturb it, it comes forth. Are you with me so far?
Yes.
Yes. How about out there in Zoom land? Thumbs up? I'm seeing thumbs up. All right, perfect. So we've got something going on right now. Clearly, we are doing things differently today. We are here living on Zoom today and presenting our service on Zoom this morning. So why are we doing this? We are doing this because we are taking responsibility, which is what we teach here, taking 100% responsibility for our lives. We are doing this because we're taking responsibility not only for our own lives, but for each other. Because what we recognize is that we are all interconnected. We are all one. And so by taking precautions here, by us individually taking precautions, we are aiding each other. Because if we are working to create a world that works for everyone in all of creation, we have to be mindful of all of creation. And if we are also firmly believing our focus statement of emboldening people to live their highest potential, you can't do that if we're out sharing things with each other that we don't really want to be sharing with each other, right? So it's not coming from a place of fear. I want you to be very clear that the decisions that we've made are not coming from a place of fear, but from actually a deep place of love, a deep place of responsibility, a deep place of high understanding and spiritual principle. Because if we are not willing to embody love and light and be the full embodiment of love and light, then we certainly can't talk about God being love and light, right? We have to embody that. So how does this look then when we are thinking about law as womb? Something I want you all to think about is, what is it that we're planting seeds of? Are we planting the seeds of love? Are we showing up as love, the embodiment of love? Or are we showing up as fear? Because right now, as people who belong to Centers for Spiritual Living, who belong to New Thought, we have the opportunity to really step into and really lean into what it is that we teach. We know that there are appearances, and we don't give appearances much weight, but yet we do not deny appearances. We recognize that there is a pandemic going on in the world, but we can also step back from a place of love and from a place of spiritual truth and high truth and know that there is only one power, one presence, one life, and this universe conspires for our good always and in all ways. For truly we are only one, so even this too, in the midst of what we are experiencing, this too is for the evolution of our souls. This too is for the evolution of consciousness on the planet. This too, perhaps, is the evolution of love expressing itself through and as each one of us. We have the opportunity to come together and to practice and to raise the consciousness. Not only do we have the opportunity, we have the responsibility to help raise the consciousness of our surroundings. Just by being who we are and showing up and doing our world work, doing our work, even from our prayer cushions in meditation and prayer. We have the opportunity when we are out and about to exercise caution, but at the same time, exercise love. Exercise spiritual truth. Exercise that we know, that we know, that we know. That none of these things come nigh my dwelling place. Because we stand firm in consciousness. So as you're out there sanitizing your hands, don't forget to sanitize your mind, sanitize your consciousness. Do not let the fear in. If you're putting on a mask, then put on a mask so that the fear can't come in, right? It's not the virus, it's the fear, right? Don't allow the fear, don't feed the fear. Instead, feed the love. Because love always conquers. Because there is only love. There is nothing to fear. If God is for me, who could be against me? Right? So, recognizing that there's only one power and one presence, there is nothing, no thing that could harm. Right? Because when we recognize the who of who we are and we stand in that spiritual truth, and we recognize that. I'm not saying don't wash your hands. I'm not saying ignore all the precautions. What I'm saying is do your spiritual work and wash your hands and take the necessary physical precautions. Social distancing. The few folks that are here in the room are all seated 6 feet apart. And Dinah's backing up, so there you go. Just to make sure. Away from her husband, yes. So I invite you to continue to practice good hygiene, good safety measures, but also continue to do your spiritual work, because really, ultimately, that's where we lie. We can go into that spiritual work, and like I said, nothing comes nigh our dwelling place. When we are spiritually grounded in truth, in love, in light. And we are embodying that, and we are sharing that. So this morning, I would like for us to come together in spiritual practice. I know Roxanne absolutely loves it when we do spiritual practice together, and I do too. So I invite you, if and as you're able, if you choose to go ahead and close your eyes for a few moments, and we're going to enter into a period of meditation together, and then we will continue with prayer. This is something we can each do, whether we are isolated in our homes, whether we are with a few others. This is something that each one of us can do. Lean into your spiritual practice, lean into our faith, lean in and trust and know that God's got this. Lean in and trust and know that the God within you, the God within each one of us, the divine within each one of us, is far greater than any problem or any outward experience. Because there is simply this one life, living, moving, breathing, and having its being in, through, and as each one of us and us in it. So I invite you to take a nice deep breath. And exhale. And just allow your breathing to find its natural rhythm. Simply allow your breathing to find its natural rhythm. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to change your breathing in any way. Just allow it to find its natural rhythm. And just pay attention to it. Feeling the inhalation, the exhalation, the inflow, the outflow. Feeling the rhythm of life. The divine, high, holy rhythm of harmony and peace and love. Now notice that you're not having to take thought for your breath. That in actuality, you are being breathed. You're being breathed by the one life, maintaining and sustaining its beloved creation. Maintaining and sustaining itself as you. This is the ever-givingness of the divine. What we at Centers for Spiritual Living refer to as love. And so when we say that love lives here, we're referring to love living within each one of us, as each one of us. Feel the divine maintaining and sustaining you. Trusting in it. Allowing. Feel the nourishment of your body temple. As there's a beautiful exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. A beautiful flow of life. This power, this presence, this one. As it's flowing, I invite you to allow an idea, a fertile idea, to come to mind. Perhaps it's a fertile idea about what we're experiencing, about what the world is experiencing right now. A fertile idea of wholeness, of peace, of harmony, of divine perfection, of love. Perhaps it's a fertile idea of people awakening to their divinity, to our shared humanity, to our deep interconnectedness, to our realization that we truly are all one with one another and with all life, with our planet itself. Perhaps it's a high idea of an up-leveling, of an expansion, of love, of peace, of compassion. Whatever the high idea, the high fertilized idea is, I invite you to breathe and embody it. Plant that seed in the womb of your consciousness. Breathing in, trusting, and allowing. Allow it to grow within you. For you are the life of God, the hands of God, the heart of God, the womb of the divine. Allow this high, fertile idea to gestate within you this day. Allow it to gestate within you this week. Trust and know that it is nurtured and nourished. Trust and know that it is good and very good. Trust and know that it is a beneficial presence for all life on the planet. And so I recognize here and now that there simply is just this one life, this one presence, the one power, expressing itself easily and effortlessly as its beloved creation. Each one lives, moves, breathes, and has its being in it, and it in us. I recognize that the who of who I am is the divine made manifest. That I am the emanation and impartation of this one life, this one love. It is the very essence of my nature, and it is the totality of my being. And because I recognize that I am one with this one as this one, I recognize that no thing stands against me. No thing can harm me. No dis-ease, no dysfunction, no fear can stand in the presence of light and love, the light and love that I am. So I recognize that my body temple is the temple of the divine. It is high, holy, and sacred. It is cleansed, it is nourished, it is purified, and it is fed. I recognize that it has and experiences perfect circulation and perfect operation. My lungs are full of air. I have ease of breath because I trust in God. Yea, though I may walk through the valley of the shadows, thou art with me. I fear no thing. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me, they guide me. Because I recognize the divine within me. I know that I am whole, I know that I am perfect. I know that I am complete just as I am. And in this perfection I realize that nothing can come nigh my dwelling place. So I recognize that I am the power and the presence of love. That I am the power and the presence of light. I recognize the truth is revealed, so there is absolutely nothing to be healed. I simply rest in this knowing and lean into my faith. And I give thanks. I give thanks that I know, that I know, that I know. I give thanks for the eternal presence of God within. I give thanks for my life. I give thanks for my community. I give thanks for this time of quietude and introspection. I trust in God, knowing that all is truly well, that everything is happening for the divine unfoldment of my life and the life of all, the one life that is. And so I release this word into the law, into the womb of the divine, knowing that it is already taken care of, it is already done. I need not do anything else so